The 2014 National Hot Rod Association Pro Modified World Championship Series comes down to one final event in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last year, Ricky Smith won the World Championship, but then said, "That's it, I'm done, I quit." Here he is 12 months later, trying to win a second straight title.
Sometimes I've been a little bit of a butthole, but, you know, I want to win, Ted. I come out here to race, not to party.
Within the NHRA is a class of car that defies convention. Door slammers with nitrous, turbos, blowers. These are the Mavericks. This is Pro Mod. Welcome, everybody, to Bruton Smith's magnificent facility known as the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the final national event in the NHRA Pro Modified Series for 2014, where the world champion will be crowned at the ceremony that takes place after the event is completed each and every year. Despite the elevation of this track, Ricky Smith shocked a lot of people by qualifying number 2.
Before this race, Ricky said it was impossible to get in the top half of the field at Vegas.
And I remember mentioning once before that I knew that he always had 4 or 5 in his pocket. But, you know, can't blame him. He's a tough racer, and hopefully we can knock him out of the championship. Hopefully Danny knocks him out in the first round, and we can win this race and take him out.
Some of the best-known drivers in the 2014 Tour didn't even qualify for this race, so you'll see a lot of new faces today.
Kind of got a slow start, but we got in, finally in the last pass.
Well, we've been the last couple of races we've been in and bumped out at the last minute. So yeah, we're actually in. We get to race.
Yeah, we came here just hoping to qualify, and turned out we put ourselves pretty far in the field. And everybody involved is just doing a wonderful job. My part's the easy part.
And those drivers will replace famous names like Jim Bell, Steve Matusik, Mike Janis, none of whom qualified. But Mike Knowles did.
I had a 300 light in that last qualifier because I run a turbo car and he always going to flicker the light. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to let him flicker and do everything he wants to do. Once he's in, I don't want to do anything stupid. We need to get in the show. So maybe he's looking at 300 light. He'll be snoozing a little bit.
Knowles, already a 2014 national event winner on the NHRA Tour, will take on Kevin Rivenbark, who, along with Todd Tutterow, his teammate, comprises the Gallant Motorsports team with the Ford Mustang in the far lane. These two only qualified 1/100 of a second apart. Lots of tire shake in the near lane, and Mike Knowles is upset by Rivenbark's Ford Mustang.
I think both of us had problems, but I believe I recovered a little quicker than he did, but they were all over the place.
Here is the biggest shocker of this event. Bakersfield, Californian Rick Snavely in the Turbo's direct twin-turbocharged Chevy Camaro qualified for this field, running the fastest speed of the year in the NHRA Tour. His opponent will be Dan Stevenson in his nitrous oxide-injected Camaro that qualified great, but then fell off in performance. Crew Chief Tony Christian explained.
Screw up my part, take the blame for it. It'll happen again.
Your only mistake this season.
You know, I think it was, darn it. I'm trying to think if I've made hundreds of them. Now get the hell out of here.
Stevenson more than capable of running in the 5s even here at 2,400 feet elevation in Las Vegas, but that Camaro is an unknown quantity. Problems for Stevenson, a big flash of fire, and Snavely runs even faster, 253.14 miles an hour, the fastest of the season.
253 on the speed, dude.
Wow, whoa, what a ride.
Long way since 2011. You had a rough ride at this racetrack back then, but boy, you're back with a vengeance this weekend.
Yes, sir. I'm loving every minute of it, too. Trust me.
Brian Lowndes doing top-end duty there. Very true that Snavely had a horrible crash here at Vegas in 2011. Once again, the Alanabi Racing team cars square off. Mike Castellana in the far lane, and of course, Vaughn Smith in the Alanabi Dr. Moon's Rage Chevy Camaro on the near side.
You get to run the teammate.
Okay, I didn't know that, but, well, it's good and it's bad because, you know, one of us is going to go out, but one of us is going to advance.
I get so tired of that. It seems like it's been that way all year, and even last year as well, same thing. One of us got to step up. Whether we're going to have to qualify worse, they're going to qualify better, or we're going to have to qualify better, they're going to qualify better. However you want to look at it, we got to get off the same side of the ladder.
An interesting bit of trivia, the crew chief on the far side for Mike Castellana's Speed Tech Nitrous Camaro is Shannon Jenkins, who won the first NHRA Pro Mod points title in 2002. Oh, a big explosion in the far lane, and Vaughn Smith will advance with a number competitive with any car in this field.
593 first round win means you're still technically alive.
Well, that is good because I messed up in the car, and Howard will let me know about it. I'm certain when he sees the computer.
Bear in mind, Vaughn Smith is one of several drivers with a chance to overtake Ricky Smith in this final points-paying event. Here's another one, the yellow Corvette of Troy Coughlin, who will be running against rookie Stephen Whiteley in the far lane. But bear in mind, Coughlin was the world champion in this division back in 2012. The twin turbocharged Jegs machine is capable of defeating anybody here at Vegas. But first, he's got to get around Whiteley, and he barely does it. The quickest run of the round at 5.88 seconds is a winner. We'll be back with the continuation of round one of eliminations from Las Vegas in the NHRA Pro Mod Series presented by Aeromotive. The 2014 NHRA Pro Mod Drag Racing Series presented by Aeromotive is brought to you by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology. By B&M Racing and Performance, quality performance products that work. By Precision Turbo and Engine, the winning edge in boosted performance. And by Aeromotive, serious fuel systems for pro mods to hot rods and everything in between. Ricky Smith is doing everything he can to win a second consecutive world championship in the NHRA Pro Modified Drag Racing Series in this IDG Camaro, but we'll be seeing him coming up in the first round momentarily. Right now, it's Kevin Fiskus and his twin turbocharged blue and black Ford Mustang, alongside one of the best known names in the category, Jay Payne, who's had an up and down 2014 season, and in fact, still isn't really sure if he has the BAE Camaro running right here. During qualifying, the car ran both good and bad. What now?
All right, so what do you got for him?
You know, right now we really don't know. We're going to do the best we can, and what happens, happens. All we can do is try.
It's a classic pro-modified drag race for the fans. Ford versus Chevy, turbocharged engine versus supercharged power plant. And problems for Fiskus. Jay Payne runs his best pass of the weekend, competitive with everybody in the field, but there's a little bit of death smoke on the top end as his wife, Shelly Anderson, heads for the pits.
Well, you know, we've been off for a year or so with Brad's health, and there was 4 races left when we came back, and we haven't qualified the first 3, so qualifying was an accomplishment. And to race these guys, I mean, they're faster. They did a great job. We just got lucky and won that round, so we'll take it.
Jay, of course, referring to his father-in-law, the great Brad Anderson, one of the true legends of the sport. Here's the other half of the Galot Motorsports team from North Carolina, Todd Tutterow, against this man. Canadian driver Eric Latino in the Quality Plus Compressors Camaro that qualified a career-best 3rd in this field with a little bit of a surprise.
But this is the good motor.
This is the B motor, actually. I know, this is our B engine, believe it or not, but it actually performed really well.
We won't tell the other guy.
No, not at all.
Now, if that's the B motor, it needs to be told it's the A motor and see how it runs from there. Best drag race of the round. Wow, what a battle. Latino wins in a tremendous drag race, and the Canadian runs even quicker than he did in qualifying.
I don't know what kind of light I caught there, but I haven't slept more than about 45 minutes in the past 48 hours. But, I was up till 6 this morning working on this car. So, yeah, we're excited, man. The crew did awesome. Good power. And this guy here, that's the second time I'm around my buddy here. He's a good guy.
Great sportsmanship from Todd Tutterow. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's crunch time in Las Vegas. Ricky Smith, the reigning world champion and current world point leader in the IDG Supply nitrous-injected Camaro, takes on one of his closest point rivals, Danny Rowe, in the Agave Underground Chevy Camaro. The supercharged methanol-burning machine tuned by Jimmy Rector lines up against the Jerry Bickle race cars. Pat Musey-powered red and white nitrous Camaro that needs to win 2 rounds here today to win the title. Problems for Danny Rowe. And Ricky Smith explodes the hood scoop right off of the IDG Camaro. That's a lot of damage. Let's take a look at the slow motion replay. An intake manifold explosion right here. A huge fireball. The explosion blows the entire electronic fuel injection unit off the top of the engine. And remember, folks, this has to be fixed before the all-important second round. Brian Loans is on the top end.
You're doing it in fine style this weekend, my friend.
Man, I don't know what happened. I mean, everything was fine. It didn't give me no notice. It just all of a sudden, it must have dropped a valve, broke a rod or something. It didn't burn up. It just blowed up.
Here's #1 qualifier Don Walsh and the blue 1963 Corvette Stingray split window coupe, which is a loaner car driven by Pete Farber. Farber, if you remember, crashed his Dodge Daytona Charger at the St. Louis event. He couldn't get it fixed in time, but got this loaner Corvette to qualify in the field when 12 other drivers didn't get in. Walsh led the field by a mere 0.03 of a second over Ricky Smith. Farber red lights by 0.08 of a second. But Walsh gets to the finish line first anyway with the quickest run of the event by 0.04 of a second. What a run!
We shook the tires a little bit, had to pedal it, and when we did, it picked the wheels up pretty high, and I couldn't see a whole lot of the racetrack there for a little bit, but made it down through there, and we're on the second round.
Nothing like doing 250 miles per hour driving blind. There are 4 supercharged cars remaining, 3 turbo entries, and Ricky Smith's lone nitrous machine still in. Stay with us. It's the final race of the 2014 NHRA Pro Modified Drag Racing Series presented by Aeromotive. Since 2002, 2 drivers have won back-to-back world championships in the NHRA Pro Modified Series. Now on the starting line is a man who hopes to become the 3rd. The IDG Camaro driver has thrashed to repair the damage from that first-round explosion.
The crank's locked up in it. We don't know if a cam broke or what broke, but something broke. It didn't burn up, it just something broke, and when it misfired, then all that stuff in that manifold exploded like a stick of dynamite. This motor should run good, and go up there and try to win this round.
I'm sure his spare is probably just as good as his #1. So we'll have to see what happens.
Very simple scenario. If Ricky Smith gets the win light in this battle against upstart Rick Snavely, he wins his 2nd world championship. Snavely, however, is one of the big upset-minded drivers in this field. Remember, he ran the fastest speed of the entire year in the previous round. Smith is the last one to stage. And here we go. The turbo Camaro is falling back, but here it comes. Ricky Smith wins a 2nd consecutive World Pro Modified Championship.
We brought a new car out before Indy, and everybody doubted me there, but I knew this car was bad. Jerry Bickle builds an awesome race car. Pat Musey, hey, engine builder of the year. He can't get no better than this right here, man.
He may be the world champion, but don't think for a second Ricky Smith doesn't realize there's a race still to be won here today. Von Smith and his crew chief, Dr. Howard Moon, now line up alongside Jay Payne and the Brad Anderson Enterprises Chevy Camaro in a battle of supercharged entries.
Jay's a great competitor. We raced for 100 years now, it seems like, together now called Funny Cars.
We raced it before in Pro Mod.
And?
Yeah, kind of even.
Lane choice mean much here? They're pretty.
We got lane choice, it doesn't matter. Okay. They always say that when they don't have lane choice, it doesn't matter, but we got lane choice, it doesn't matter.
Both these drivers have spent the majority of their lives involved in drag racing. Jay Payne and Von Smith leave the starting line, and Payne blows the tires off. No traction to be found whatsoever. And Von Smith picks up a win, duplicating his first-round times and, more importantly, has the best reaction time of eliminations.
Done pretty good. Howard Moon, the rest of the team, Shake Khaled, and Alanabi Racing go to another round.
Be nice to finish it out with a bang, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
The battle for the World Championship may be over, but 2012 World Titleist Troy Coughlin in the Jegs.com turbocharged Corvette is still in this to win it at Vegas. He'll be up against Eric Latino's ultra-low emissions Global Emissions Solution Systems G-Force chassis Chevy Camaro.
I don't know, hope we got enough for him. I know how him and Petty tune, and they always inch that car. He'll go on 96 and 92 and 88 and 86. He'll just slowly creep up on us. So hopefully he doesn't step it up too much for me, and we can hopefully get an edge on him on this next round.
Bad news, Eric. We can pretty much guarantee Troy Coughlin and Steve Petty have tuned it up for you. Wow, the blown car way out in front, but here comes the turbo car in a great drag race. Both cars run 5.89 seconds, but it was a 400th hole shot for Coughlin that won it.
Singing pretty good at the end of the season. It'd be nice to finish this one out with a Wally.
Oh, no doubt about that. It's for Ricky.
See, the World Championship is absolutely concluded, yet Troy Coughlin wants to steal the final event trophy away from Ricky Smith. The Gallant Motorsports Team Mustang of Kevin Rivenbark and the Harry Ruska-owned twin turbocharged Camaro of the one and only Don Walsh pull up to the starting line. Wow, carrying the front wheels 500 feet down track. Walsh blasts to another great run. Not as quick, but look at the reaction times. What a driver's duel. How in the world you can keep a car straight when the front wheels are 3 feet in the air is beyond most humans.
Vaughn Smith next round, tough customer.
Absolutely, but a first-class racer, and we're looking forward to getting him.
Cool. Let's keep all four on the racetrack this time.
That's it. Thank you.
What an amazing drag race to this point. 1 supercharged entry, 1 nitrous oxide injected race car, and 2 turbo machines are left in the field. And Ricky Smith and his family are already celebrating that world title.
All right, we got to go. We got to try to get another one.
The 2014 NHRA Pro Mod Drag Racing Series presented by Aeromotive is brought to you by Hurst, America's #1 shifters. By Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. By Agave Underground, 100% agave tequila. And by ARP, the world leader in racing fastener technology. The NHRA Pro Modified Series presented by Aeromotive is down to the final 4 cars of the year. All 4 are Chevrolet products, but all 3 induction systems are represented in this class. Here's the twin turbocharged Chevy Camaro of Don Walsh that slowed down in the previous round.
What happened to the 84?
Well, we made a few changes on the car last night. We're trying to come up with a more consistent car on race day. And in that, we made some changes that worked. We made some changes that didn't. And now we'll make a few more changes and see if we can bring the car back a little bit.
Well, if past National Mustang Racers Association World Champ Walsh can make that a consistent car, this guy, Howard Moon, the crew chief for Vaughn Smith's Dr. Moon's Rage Camaro, is in trouble. Their best run of the entire weekend has been 592. Another wheels-up charge for Walsh. And he unloads the run of the weekend. 582 at Vegas altitude. Unbelievable.
Talk about putting one together.
And the guys have worked so hard on this car all year long, and I just have my hats off to Harriet, Precision Turbo, and all the guys on the team. They're making me look good today.
Well, he goes to the final round, and now a race that in itself is worth the price of admission. The number 1 and 2 points finishers for this year and the last 2 world champions in NHRA competition are ready to square off. Ricky Smith in Charlie Lingenfelder's Industrial Distribution Group Chevy Camaro and Troy Coughlin's Jegs.com team.
Oh yeah, there's another trophy here today. We race for trophies, so we're going to try to get us another.
Oh, there's no doubt he does, and we want to take him out just as bad.
It's not a joke. No love lost between these two. And of course, the big nitrous oxide injection versus twin turbocharged rivalry will continue past this race and into the next season. But right now, this is war. Neither driver willing to stage first. Ricky goes in first. Coughlin comes in behind him. Ricky Smith wins the World Championship and the grudge match. Both cars off their normal pace, but who cares?
I thought for a minute maybe his wasn't going to come on or something. It was broke, so I said, okay, I'll give him a chance to think about it. So then when he went in, I done kind of what I wanted to do. I just didn't expect the car to go crooked, you know. I told Troy before we raced, have fun. I like John Ford.
Well, if Ricky's going to make this a clean sweep weekend, he's going to have to beat one of the fastest turbocharged cars on the planet in the final.
Pro Mod 101 is brought to you by Precision Turbo and Engine.
Harry, you have a lot of horsepower in this turbocharged car. What do you do for electrical power?
Well, electrical power, we just use a regular 12-volt battery.
That's not a regular battery, Harry.
This is a lithium-ion battery. It weighs, well, here, feel it, Ted.
You're kidding.
Not quite 5 pounds. It's 540 cranking amps. It's newer technology, and the cool thing about it is the Safety Safari is really happy about it because it won't catch on fire. We like it because it's green. Once its life cycle is over, you can throw it in the trash right to the landfill.
Wow, you know, Detroit needs to get onto this. Can you imagine a Chevy Volt with these instead of lithium ion that they've had a fire problem with?
And hopefully our racing programs will go back into the OE passenger cars.
Well, you know, there are a lot of things on your daily driver that came from the racetrack. That's why you watch Pro Mod 101.
You've been with us throughout the entire season. It is now time for the final drag race of 2014 in the NHRA Pro Modified Series presented by Aeromotive. Every company represented by a decal on the side of Ricky Smith's car can now claim to be a part of the World Championship winning team. But in order to win this final event, he's got to beat the 252-mile-per-hour Chevy Camaro of Don Walsh that ran 0.06 of a second quicker than Ricky has all weekend long just a round ago. Another starting line burn down. Neither driver willing to stage first. The turbo car goes in. Ricky takes his time and is ready for the final drag race. Ricky Smith wins it all. It wasn't his quickest run of the weekend or his fastest, but Don Walsh, after going through another one of those sky-scraping wheel stands, crosses the center line and hits several of the foam laser beam reflectors and does plenty of damage to Harry Haruska's twin-turbocharged Camaro. But I'll bet Ricky Smith is chuckling to himself all the way to the last turnoff where Brian Loans is waiting.
Look what's on that door. IDG. You can't beat it. I mean, Jared Bickle, Pat Musey on the hood scoop. I even got Ted Jones here from when I started racing back in 1970. So, hey, it couldn't be a better way right now if I retire. I'm not saying I am yet. I got to go back and talk to Joe and Charlie. But if I do, this is a perfect opportunity to do it.
It has been an amazing season, terrific performances, and one of the great points battles in the history of NHRA Pro Modified presented by Aeromotive. But at the World Championship Awards banquet, Ricky Smith made clear he was more than proud of this moment.
Well, I don't know. I mean, guys, I don't want to leave here because I know, I'll never get back here again. And like I say, for 41 years, I started winning championships in 76. It's going to be hard to walk away, but I'm going to have to do it sometime. Thank y'all. God bless.
Will Ricky really retire? You'll have to tune in for the 2015 NHRA Pro Mod Series to find out. On behalf of myself, Brett Kepner, Ted Jones, and Brian Loans, see you next year.